The courtship period was finally over. 60 days. That's what T.H. Racky tradition demanded. 60 days for a potential mate to choose between the three bonded sisters who'd accepted him as a candidate. 60 days of formal meetings, cultural exchanges, shared meals, and carefully orchestrated interactions designed to help him make his choice. 60 days of the most confusing, overwhelming, and unexpectedly wonderful experience of my life. I was Marcus Reed, a human xenoanthropologist assigned to the T.H. Racky homeworld to study their unique familial bonding structures. The T.H. Racky were a fascinating species, humanoid, with luminous blue skin that shifted to purple when they experienced strong emotions, silver eyes that seemed to see straight into your soul, and an intricate system of telepathic bonds between family members. What made them truly unique was their mating structure. T.H. Racky sisters born in sets of three shared a permanent telepathic bond from birth. They thought together, felt together, and traditionally married together, choosing a single mate who would bond with all three simultaneously. I'd been studying this structure academically for months, interviewing bonded families, documenting their dynamics. I never expected to become part of one. Then I met Lyra, Sierra, and Nova. It started innocently enough. I was photographing a traditional bonding ceremony when Lyra approached me, her blue skin shimmering with curiosity. She was the eldest of the three, confident, direct, with an intensity that made my heart skip. "You're the human anthropologist," she said, not a question. "The one studying our bonding traditions. Marcus Reed." I extended my hand in the human greeting I'd taught dozens of T.H. Racky by now. She took it, her skin cool and smooth against mine. "Lyra Tel Navarres. These are my bond sisters, Sierra and Nova." I turned to see two more T.H. Racky women approaching, clearly sisters, but each distinct. Sierra, the middle sister, had a quieter demeanor, her silver eyes warm and observant. Nova, the youngest, practically vibrated with energy, her blue skin flickering to purple with excitement. "A human!" Nova exclaimed. "We've never met a human before. Is it true you don't have telepathic bonds? How do you know what your family is thinking? How do you coordinate anything?" "Nova, you're overwhelming him," Sierra said gently, but she was smiling. "Though I'm curious about those things too." We talked for hours that day. Then we met again the next day, and the next. What started as academic interest evolved into genuine friendship. I learned that Lyra loved strategy games and had a dry sense of humor that caught me off guard. Sierra was an artist who painted emotions in colors I couldn't name. Nova was a botanist who could talk for hours about plant biology with infectious enthusiasm. And somewhere in those conversations, I fell for all three of them, which was apparently obvious to everyone except me. "Marcus," Lyra said one evening after a month of our regular meetings, "we need to discuss something important." We were in their family garden, a space they'd designed together with Sierra's artistic eye and Nova's botanical expertise. The three sisters sat across from me, their expressions serious. "The three of us have been conferring," Sierra continued, her voice soft but steady, "and we've reached a consensus." "We like you," Nova blurted out, her skin flashing purple. "Like really like you in a potential mate kind of way." My brain short-circuited. What?" Lyra leaned forward. "We would like to formally offer you a courtship petition, 60 days as tradition demands for you to determine if you're compatible with our bond. At the end, you would choose one of us to mate with." "Choose one?" I repeated stupidly. That's how it works with non-TA Sira explained. We understand humans typically bond with only one partner, so you would spend 60 days getting to know each of us individually, then choose which of us suits you best. The other two would remain bonded to their chosen sister, and we'd all live as an extended family unit. It's unusual, Nova admitted, but not unprecedented. Our mother-sister bond did something similar with an off-worlder. It can work. I sat there, stunned. These three incredible women were offering me. What? A chance to date all of them and then break two of their hearts. That seemed horrible. I don't know if I can do that, I said slowly. Choose between you, I mean, you're all. You're amazing, all three of you. They exchanged glances, that instant, silent communication of their telepathic bond. The 60 days aren't meant to be easy, Lyra said. They're meant to provide clarity. Will you at least consider it? What I should have said was no. What I should have done was maintain professional boundaries and academic objectivity. Instead, I said yes. The 60 days were structured and formal. Each sister got equal time with me, 20 days of primary focus each, though all three were often present. Raki courtship involved traditional activities, shared meals prepared according to ancestral recipes, artistic collaborations, philosophical discussions, and physical activities that tested compatibility. My time with Lyra was intense and challenging. She took me rock climbing on the crystal cliffs outside the city, pushed me in strategy games until my brain hurt, and debated philosophy until dawn. She was brilliant and demanding and never let me take the easy path. "You're holding back," she said one evening after defeating me soundly in a game of Karat, Raki chess, essentially. "You're so worried about saying the wrong thing that you're not saying anything real. I'm trying to be respectful. Respect doesn't mean hiding yourself." Her silver eyes held mine. "I want to know what you actually think, Marcus, not what you think I want to hear." So I started being honest about my fears of inadequacy, about feeling overwhelmed by their culture, about the growing terror that I was falling for all three of them, and the 60-day deadline felt like a countdown to inevitable heartbreak. "Good," she said when I finished my rambling confession. "Now we're actually getting somewhere." My time with Sira was softer but no less profound. She taught me Raki color theory, showing me how their art represented emotional truth in ways words couldn't capture. We painted together, badly in my case, and she never once criticized my terrible technique. "Art isn't about skill," she said, watching me struggle with a brush designed for Raki hands. "It's about emotional honesty. What are you feeling right now? Frustrated, inadequate, confused about what I'm doing here. Then paint that." I did. The result was a chaotic mess of dark colors and harsh lines. Sira studied it thoughtfully. "It's beautiful," she said. "It's terrible. It's honest. That makes it beautiful." She smiled at me. "You're so afraid of not being enough, Marcus, but you are. Exactly as you are." My time with Nova was joyful chaos. We spent days in her botanical gardens learning the care and feeding of alien plants. She had endless energy and enthusiasm for everything, and her laughter was infectious. "Try this one." She thrust a purple fruit into my hands. "It's perfectly safe for human consumption, probably. Probably. 98% sure." Her skin was bright purple with excitement. "Come on, where's your sense of adventure?" I tried the fruit. It was delicious and didn't kill me, which Nova treated as a personal victory. But it was in the quiet moments that I really fell for her. Late at night, when her manic energy finally settled, she'd talk about the deeper meanings of growth and change in nature. about how every organism adapted to find its place in the ecosystem. "Maybe you're adapting too," she said one night, both of us lying in her garden, staring up at T.H. Rackey's 3 moons. "Maybe the fact that you're struggling with our traditions means you're trying to find your place in our world. That's not weakness, that's growth." The 60th day arrived too fast. I was supposed to make my choice at sunset during a formal ceremony. The entire Tel Navares family would be present, along with community witnesses. I would speak the name of my chosen mate, and the other 2 sisters would gracefully step aside, maintaining their bond with their sister while accepting me into their extended family. It was civilized, traditional, expected. It was also completely wrong. I stood in the ceremonial hall, wearing the formal robes they'd given me, my heart pounding. Lyra, Sierra, and Nova stood before me in their own ceremonial dress, their blue skin shimmering with barely suppressed emotion. I could see the tension in their shoulders, the way they stood just slightly apart instead of their usual comfortable closeness. They were already preparing for separation, already anticipating that 2 of them would lose. The elder officiant raised his hands. "Marcus Reed of Earth, you have completed the 60 days of courtship with the Tel Navares sister bond. The time has come for you to speak your choice. Which of these 3 will you take as your mate?" I looked at Lyra, strong, challenging, pushing me to be better. At Sierra, gentle, insightful, showing me beauty and honesty. At Nova, joyful, passionate, teaching me to embrace growth. "I can't choose," I said. Murmurs rippled through the assembled witnesses. The elder frowned. "The tradition requires." "I know what tradition requires, and I'm sorry, but I can't do it." I turned to face the 3 sisters fully. "Lyra, you asked me to be honest, to say what I actually think instead of what I think you want to hear. So here's the truth. I'm in love with all 3 of you." Their eyes widened simultaneously, their skin flashing from blue to purple. "These 60 days were supposed to help me choose between you, but they did the opposite. They showed me how you work together, how you complement each other, how your bond makes each of you stronger." I took a breath. "Choosing one of you would break something beautiful. I can't do it." "Marcus," Lyra said carefully, "are you saying you want to refuse the courtship entirely?" "No, I'm saying the tradition is wrong, for us at least." I looked at the elder. "Is there precedent for a mate bonding with all 3 sisters, not choosing one but choosing all?" The hall erupted in shocked conversation. The elder's expression was stunned. "That is highly unusual. The full bond is typically reserved for T.H. Racky, where telepathic connection allows true 3-way unity. But is it possible? Theoretically, yes, it's been done, though not in living memory. It requires all 4 parties to consent to a telepathic bond integration. For a human who lacks natural telepathy, it would be intense, possibly overwhelming." I turned back to the sisters. "I know I can't share your telepathic bond the way you share it with each other, but if there's a way to include me in it, even partially, I want that. I want all of you together the way you're meant to be, not divided." Sierra's eyes were shining with tears, or what I'd learned was the T.H. Racky equivalent. "You would do that? Risk the telepathic integration? It's irreversible, Marcus. Once bonded, you'd feel our emotions, our thoughts. You'd never have complete privacy again." "I spent 60 days learning who you are. I want to spend the rest of my life understanding you better, all of you." Nova's skin was brilliant purple now, her emotions blazing across her features. "He's insane, wonderfully, perfectly insane." Lyra stepped forward, her silver eyes intense. You understand what you're proposing. This isn't human marriage. This isn't even normal Traki bonding. You'd be the first human to fully integrate into a sister bond. There's no precedent, no guarantee it will work. I'm a xenoanthropologist. I'm supposed to study new cultural configurations. I smiled at her. Might as well become one. She laughed, a real unguarded laugh that I'd rarely heard from her. You're absolutely crazy. Is that a yes? The three sisters looked at each other, that instant silent communication flowing between them. Then Sira spoke. We need to confer properly. This isn't a decision to make lightly. They stepped aside, forming a tight circle, their hands joined. I watched their skin shimmer through colors, blue to purple to shades I didn't have names for. Their telepathic bond was clearly working overtime. The assembled witnesses watched in fascinated silence. The elder looked like he didn't know whether to be scandalized or intrigued. Finally, the sisters broke their circle and turned back to me. They moved as one unit, the synchronization I'd seen in them from the beginning now obvious and beautiful. Lyra spoke first. We've never considered this possibility. Raki tradition says we choose one mate who integrates into our extended family. Sira continued, but you've made us reconsider what tradition means versus what's right for us specifically. Nova finished, and what's right for us is you, all of you with all of us. All three of us say yes, they said in unison, their voices overlapping in that eerie harmony. We choose you, Marcus Reed, if you're brave enough to choose all of us. I crossed the space between us, taking their hands, Lyra's on my right, Nova's on my left, Sira's intertwined with both. I'm terrified, but yes, absolutely yes. The elder cleared his throat. This is unprecedented. The bonding ritual will need to be modified, and there are risks. We understand the risks, Lyra said firmly. We accept them, all four of us. Then, the elder seemed to be making a decision in real time, tradition warring with the reality before him. Then let us proceed with the bonding ceremony. May the ancestors guide this unusual union. The bonding ritual was intense. They'd warned me it would be. The telepathic integration process involved all four of us entering a meditative state while a trained bonding facilitator helped establish the neural pathways. For the sisters who already shared a bond, it was about expanding that connection to include me. For me, it was about opening my mind to something humans weren't designed for. It felt like standing in a rushing river of emotions and thoughts that weren't mine. Lyra's fierce determination, Sira's gentle wisdom, Nova's bubbling joy, all of it pouring into my consciousness while my own thoughts and feelings flowed back to them. It should have been overwhelming. It was overwhelming, but it was also right. I felt the moment the bond locked into place, a sensation like puzzle pieces clicking together. Suddenly I could feel them, not thoughts exactly, but emotional resonance. When Lyra felt protective, I felt it as warmth in my chest. When Sira felt content, it was like soft music at the edge of hearing. When Nova felt excited, it was electricity along my nerves, and they could feel me. My love for each of them, distinct but interconnected, my fear and wonder and absolute certainty that this was exactly where I belonged. When we emerged from the meditation, all four of us were crying. That was... I couldn't find words. Incredible, Sira whispered. Intense, Lyra added. Perfect, Nova finished. We stood there, hands still joined, while the assembled witnesses erupted in applause, shocked perhaps, but approving. The elder stepped forward, his expression transformed from skepticism to wonder. I have officiated hundreds of bondings in my lifetime. I have never witnessed one quite like this. He placed his hands over our joined ones. By the power vested in me by tradition and innovation both, I declare you bonded. 4 souls, 1 family. May your union bring joy and growth to all. 6 months later, I sat in our shared garden, designed with Sierra's artistic vision and Nova's botanical expertise, arranged to Lyra's strategic perfection, and marveled at my life. The telepathic bond had taken adjustment, learning to shield my thoughts enough for privacy while remaining open enough for connection was an ongoing process, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I could feel them now, even though they were in different parts of the house. Lyra in her study, working on a tactical problem and radiating focused intensity. Sierra in her studio, painting emotions in colors that I was slowly learning to recognize. Nova in her greenhouse, humming to her plants with infectious joy. And all of them aware of me, a steady presence in the back of their minds just as they were in mine. "You're thinking very loudly," Lyra said, emerging from the house with Sierra and Nova behind her. "Sorry, still getting used to the whole thoughts aren't private anymore thing." "You were thinking about how happy you are," Sierra said, settling beside me. "That's hardly something to apologize for. You were also thinking about how crazy this whole situation is," Nova added with a grin, dropping onto the grass at my feet. "Which is fair. It is pretty crazy." "The best kind of crazy," I said, feeling their agreement through the bond before they even spoke. Lyra sat on my other side, her hand finding mine. "Any regrets about choosing all of us instead of following tradition?" I looked at the 3 of them, my wives, my bond mates, my family. 3 incredible women who'd waited 60 days for me to make a choice and who'd accepted when I chose something unexpected. "Not a single one," I said. "Tradition said pick one. I'm so glad I picked something else." "We all are," they said together, their voices harmonizing. And through our bond, I felt their emotions, love, joy, contentment, and absolute certainty. We'd broken tradition. We'd created something new, and it was perfect.